advantage just having the Paladin for sure. But, with the Disc Priest, with the Mage, between Spell Steal and Offensive Dispel, Sacred Shield's going to be very hard to keep up. Once they get that Paladin to the CC, I feel like they can just get rid of that Sacred Shield, and, Jpeg could be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah,
It could also just go for the Paladin, though.
Yeah. So Crizp is going to move in. It seems like he's going to start on Jpeg. Yeah, he does actually jump onto Jpeg and starts on the back of him. The Sacred Shield being up, but it doesn't get dispelled yet, so there's not really any damage coming into that pounce, but he's just going to maim Jpeg anyway and just keep tunneling that damage. The Mage is actually standing there spamming Frostbolts onto Jpeg. He's actually taking some high damage, getting counterspell, but not too sure why they would counterspell Jpeg there. Feral Charging onto the Paladin, bashing him once again, but as you've seen before, the bashes don't really do anything apart from just essentially wasting his own time.
Yeah, well, we did see a Hailstone and a port there used by Jpeg. Obviously, Nether Protection is helping him out quite a bit against this Mage. A big Shadow Fear going to hit all three members of this team. Will he get the Fear? He does land that Fear, but it didn't really do anything. Jpeg's going to get Feral Charge. He's going for the Immolate, trying to get some damage out here onto Crisp. And it looks like Crisp is going to take a ton of damage here, but Jpeg getting maimed at the same time. He's actually going to Trinket that. He gets cloned on his Trinket. So nice shot by Crisp. Crisp's going to retreat back behind the pillar with his Priest, and he should be able to get topped off here.
Yeah, they did actually manage to land the full trap onto Not Dipsy, but unfortunately Jpeg accidentally put a corruption on the Priest, so he just broke the trap, and that was pretty fortunate for the FMP because he managed to save the Trinket. Having to use the Trinket now anyway, getting put into a full fear, being put down to 20%, having to block that coil. So much.
Well, and AZK actually just trinketed Maim into another clone, so they're just Christmas seems to trinket get their trinkets instantly and keeps cloning them on it, denying the heals. Ziki Best had to bubble there as well, so he doesn't have his bubble, so that could be pretty big. If he gets stuck in a clone, there's nothing he can really do besides just that one trinket, and then there could be a poly or anything coming out. So if they can get a CC chain on him, I feel like they could get a kill on Jpeg or AZK, but Chris in the meantime taking a ton of damage, has to retreat back behind the pillar with his Priest. He's catching the penance. He should be able to get top back up here, and then I think things could start getting pretty bad for this Hunter Paladin Warlock team.
Yeah, they actually almost managed to kill the Pep, but Crisp having to back down behind the pillar to keep himself alive, and almost actually got kill shot by ACK, but managed to get picked up by his Priest, and he's gonna go actually getting a reset. There was a Shadow Mill result there, going onto the back of Jpeg once again, but having to lose, trying to lose that Shadow Fury, I would assume, but Jpeg getting a Shadow Fury is gonna be able to kite, but the Freedom does actually get instantly dispelled, so Crisp just gonna get straight back onto Jpeg and he's gonna keep tunneling that damage.
Yeah, and I mean we're going to see Jpeg taking some damage here. Nether Protection really is helping him out against that Frost Mage, but he is dipping down pretty low here, and Ziki Best going to be put into the clone. He doesn't want to trinket it, but I think he's going to get Fear right off this. A nice Shadow Fury though coming in from Jpeg is going to deny that Fear. Great job by him. Going to catch some heals here, but he still has to be careful. He's going to get cloned to deny those heals coming in, and Deep Freeze was used on the Paladin there, but he's been sitting this. He sat through the clone, sat through the Deep Freeze. He hasn't wasted his trinket, so he still does have it available, and they actually are in a pretty decent spot, a better spot than I would have thought they'd be in. AZK does have to use his second deterrence though, and he's going to free him out of there. He was down about 60% HP, taking some significant damage. Crisp though going to get bursted pretty hard here. Does throw out the clone onto AZK, and AZK is going to be stuck into that. Ziki Best gets CS as he does throw out that Hodge. Crisp is going to be throwing some life balloons up on himself. Does get topped up by his Priest, and he will get out there onto Jpeg once again, who is down about 60% HP. Do they have any CC for Ziki Best? Jpeg going to have to trinket once again, down about half HP. Does get the Fear though onto that Feral Druid.
Yeah, Jpeg having to trinket that Maim, he was able to keep himself alive, getting that Fear, and this is indeed going to keep him alive, but Crisp just being very fast with that clone on Jpeg to stop the heals, and he's going to go onto the back of ACK once again, and it seems like he's actually hitting the Spider Pet, and I think that if they manage to kill a Spider Pet, that could be a really big deal. Once again, Shadow Milling some of the damage, and might have been a pretty good Shadow Milling because there's some significant damage coming from Jpeg right there, but it's not deciding right now, maybe even trying to get a result. There's a flag coming down, so he's going to decide it's not worth it and go straight onto ACK again, and it's taking some very high damage. We're down to 50%, and the Mage doing a good job keeping that damage up, even though it's against the Hunter shooting him.
Yeah, and AZK is at half HP, does not have another deterrence ready, I do not think. Ziki Best does have to shrink it there, and he's standing at those flashes. He is going to be able to get some big heals up, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough because there's a Maim onto AZK, and he's down to 20% HP. A Death Glow used defensively by Jpeg. AZK will fall, though. Chris and Bacon Flippin are both low, but they should be able to live with just Jpeg alive. They just need to shut down his damage, and they're going to be fine. Shadow Fear comes out there, but they're just going to retreat back behind the pillar. Should be able to get topped up here, and that's just going to spell the end of Game 1.
Yep, very, very impressive.
It's actually going to be used here by Jpeg, so that's pretty interesting.
That is indeed interesting, and what do you know, maybe it works out. I mean, they can actually, if they manage to land those full Seducers on the Priest, that can be a really big deal. I mean, that's a 10-second CC on a 0.5 second cast. It's very hard to death and get out of as Priest.
Yeah, it is, and we do see that Nutdisty is going to get scattered, probably going to get trapped. No, Crisp able to eat that for him. Nice job by Crisp. Jpeg going to go into the full clone. Trinket's out immediately, going for the Shadow Fear Halitair, will land it, and Crisp is going to be the target here. It looks like taking quite a bit of damage. Bacon Flippin is being bursted pretty hard as well, but the damage will be swapped there over onto Crisp, who is down about half HP. Jpeg going to go into the short main, ports up top, back with his team, so they have control at the top of the bridge. This Feral Mage Priest, I feel like they're in a really bad position right down here.
Yeah, the Jpeg and ACK is able to do whatever they want to them as soon as they peek out, and Crisp already having used his Bark Skin could be in so much trouble. It seems like ACK and Jpeg is going to try to push onto Crisp right now. Spiral Shot had to do is very good job to keep his priest out of that CC, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Crisp's going to take so much damage, and maiming Jpeg to keep himself alive. There's an offensive call onto Crisp, and he's going to trinket that no, he didn't actually trinket the coil, my bad. So he's going to be able to keep himself alive, and there's a trap going on. He's not able to pick that up, so Nutdip's just going to be able to trinket that trap to keep Crisp alive.
Yeah, and AZK does have no trinket. Zinni is kind of kiting away here. Looks like he's going to be the target, but instead they are going to throw that clone out. Looks like Crisp wants to go for a bash, perhaps. No, he's actually going to get a Shadow Meld re-stealth. Nice Shadow Fear on that, though, by Jpeg, denying the pounce. He's going to be able to stop that. They're just going to go right back onto AZK out of that, though, and we see Frostbolts coming in here from Bacon Flippin'. Crisp dipping down a little bit. There was a maim onto AZK. Clone put onto Jpeg as he did port up top.
I really wish that there's a Feldum coming out from Jpeg right there. Maybe he could have actually stayed up there and hard summoning, but then again he might have to peel for ACK taking so much damage here, but he's doing a pretty good job keeping the damage off him. There's a web coming onto Crisp, but it's not going to do too much, and Spiral Druids can shift out of that, but ACK having to determine the damage here, so much damage coming from that Fire Mage Priest.
Yeah, and he's down to 30% HP. We see that some big heals coming in here from Ziki Best. He's trying his best to keep up that Sacred Shield, but it's so hard with these double defensive dispels. And Ziki Best went into a bash there. A big Shadow Fear coming out here from Jpeg, trying to peel, do the best he can. But AZK is still in a lot of trouble. There's the bubble used by Ziki Best. Will it get MD'd? Not just yet, as this Priest is stuck into a Fear, so he can't do anything about that. But bubble and Deterrence used at the same time there. So really not much left defensively at all. Crisp is pretty low. He is going to be Pain Suppression, though, so he should be okay for now, as AZK does go into that Deep Freeze. And Crisp down to 10% HP, actually has to be in bear form. I think they need to get back behind a pillar here and heal each other up, but it looks like he might just go down. There's so much damage coming in. He's just dipping between 10% and 20%. So Flash Heal does land. He's trying to get away, trying to land some of those heals on himself. He's at 20%, 30%. Jpeg is at about half HP as well, but he's going to catch a big heal, and Crisp is still being pressured very hard.
Yeah, indeed, Crisp is pressured so hard all the time this game, it seems, but he's going to go behind the pillar, throw out the clone on ACK and just throw his Tranquility out, but it's just not going to be enough. There's Jpeg coming around the corner and just being able to finish him there.
Yeah, and I mean, he was just so low for so long, and Nutdisty he's just unable to top his team. I don't know if he's just worried about the spell lock or too many little interrupts or what, but it seemed like he only really even tried to cast the one Flash Heal.
And bashing the polys, I think that we're going to see another win for the FMP here.
Yeah, we definitely could. So we'll have to see. It's all coming down to this. This is game 3. We're tied up 1-1. This is a pretty important series. Both these two teams really need a win here. Ziki Best is just kind of getting those flashlight hots up. We see a nice Pet Nova going to hit absolutely everything, including both the pets. Ziki Best having to dispel absolutely everyone right now. Bacon Flippin' going for a big shatter onto AZK. AZK is being pre-healed well. Oh, a big Fear going to come in, hit absolutely everyone, and it's going to be followed by the Sheep. AZK is going to go into that maim, and a bubble already used here by Ziki Best gets MD'd immediately, and they're going to be in some big trouble here. AZK going to have to trinket that clone that was denying the heals. We see a Death Quill onto Crisp there. Just so many cooldowns have already been forced, from this Paladin Hunter team.
Yeah, having to use his bubble that early and then just forcing a trinket right away from ACK is just, that's gonna have a big impact on this game. It's just gonna go onto the back of the Succubus here. I guess I want to force that Feldum off Jpeg, but I think that maybe just letting the Succubus live is a good idea, because if Jpeg is gonna Feldum, it's most likely going to be a Fel on her, so maybe they want the Succubus to be alive.
And I mean, Berserk has been popped here by Crisp. He's going to be doing a ton of damage to Jpeg. He is going to port away. We've seen Trinket used by both Jpeg and AZK. AZK going to be stuck in this clone full. There's, a Frostbite into a full Sheep onto Ziki Best, and there's no Devour available, so he's stuck in that. Jpeg going to be feared, and Ziki Best wants to sit it. He's actually just sitting that poly full. If they have anything to follow it up, that would be great. Another poly does come out. Looks like that broke to damage or something, though. Crisp taking some damage. Going to get the full clone, though, onto Ziki Best, and he's not trinketing, and Jpeg could be in some trouble here. He's going to pop the Health Stone, and he isn't Demon Armor. Trinket now has to be used by Ziki Best. And a clone, to deny some of those heals and to deny some damage as well, comes out from Crisp.
Yeah, they did actually manage to kill Jpeg's Petter, so he actually felled them another Succubus, so I guess he said that's the right decision. And it did actually won them the last game, having that Succubus in the start, so it could definitely work out. And Crizp taking some major damage, not being able to pick up that trap is going to be huge. Not Dipsy not having a trinket, there's a PS coming out through that trap, and he's just going to try to lose as much damage as he can, throwing out those balloons on himself. And I think he's going to re-trap, not Dipsy, and it did not actually land, that's unfortunate. He's just going to feral charge bash onto AZK to stop that damage, just swapping onto Cat, doing some damage. Freedoms himself to be able to kite away. There's the AoE sack and the blanket CS onto Ski. Jeffy being put into Apollo, which instantly gets the spell, and AZK is still under so much pressure, having to deterrence, even though the Paladin should be able to heal that up, but maybe a bit of a preemptive deterrence to stop the incoming damage there.
Yeah, but Bacon Flipping gonna be able to get some frostbolts off here, and this could be pretty scary. You know, another clone does come in, but Crisp, just every time he gets hit, he just seems to spike so low. But he does a good job LOSing. His Priest just needs to keep him topped off. Another big fear though, gonna come out on Zeke Best. He covers it with the pain. There's no Fell Hunter available anyway. AZK is taking quite a bit of damage. Are they gonna be able to get Sheep here on Zeke Best? He does get slowed. Not able to get it just yet though. Unfortunately, he was going for that poly, but AZK is at 60% HP. He's he's at about half now. Crisp though taking so much damage, down to 10% HP. He's gonna have to get into the bear form. Can he get the heals from Nut Dipsy, who was silencing shot? He does get the shield on him, throwing out the penance now. He's trying to do his best to top him back off, and Crisp is gonna go back offensive, feeling that he's okay for now. We see the Hodge did come out from the Paladin, and Jpeg was cloned there. He's gonna trigger the clone immediately though, and just try to stay offensive.
Yeah, Chris doing such a good job of staying alive, just going into bear from instantly bashing that 100 when he's taking too much damage. About 15%. Are we going to see a kill shot coming out there? And he tried to shadow meld that kill shot, but it wasn't enough, and the kill shot will hit and kill Chris.